Sometimes, a loyal friend leaves behind a story that lives forever. This is the tale of an unbreakable bond between a man and a devoted dog. Deep in the vast wilderness of Tanzania's Serengeti Game Reserve, there lives an old man named Makonde. Mr. Makonde, a former ranger, spent over 50 years from his youth to his twilight years, protecting the animals of this land. He dedicated every single day of his life to guarding wildlife from illegal hunters. The people of Serengeti regard him as a living legend, admired for his tireless devotion and kindness. Even after retiring, he continued to patrol daily in his old, rugged vehicle. Young staff members often sought his guidance, drawn to his deep wisdom and unmatched experience. Elephants, dogs, giraffes, zebras, and rhinos all were loved and cared for by him. In particular, he paid special attention to the elderly and weaker animals resting in the safe zone. Despite his declining health, Mr. Makonde never allowed age to slow him down. Recently, the Serengeti's climate has become harsher, with temperatures soaring to 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit. One scorching morning, as the fierce sun dominated the skies, Makonde set off once again, determined to check on an injured rhino. He slowly drove through the dusty, rugged trails of the reserve. The stifling heat filled the cabin, making him sweat heavily. Upon arriving, he stopped the car, observing the rhino from a distance, its wound still not fully healed. Worried, he moved closer, concern evident in his eyes. Suddenly, a sharp pain stabbed through his chest. It spread quickly, leaving him dizzy and weak. He collapsed to his knees, sweat pouring down his face. Nearby, his colleagues Elijah and Musa, who were tending to the zebras, heard his faint call and rushed over. Elijah quickly checked his pulse. It was weak and erratic. Musa searched his pockets for his heart medication, but it wasn't there. Maybe, in his rush, Makonde had forgotten it that morning. The situation was critical. Elijah immediately radioed for an ambulance. The emergency team arrived swiftly, but during the ride back, Makonde's breathing became fainter. At the medical center, doctors tried everything: CPR, defibrillator, fighting to revive him. But after more than 15 tense minutes, they had to declare that his heart had stopped long ago. An eerie silence filled the room. The reserve had lost its greatest pillar. That night, the reserve staff arranged a simple funeral following indigenous traditions. As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, everyone gathered. Makonde's body rested peacefully on a wooden bed, his face calm as if simply sleeping. Elijah stood at his side, trembling, touching his old friend's hand, memories flashing back. Musa lit an incense stick, silently praying. Suddenly, a loud bark echoed from the sanctuary gates. Everyone turned in alarm. A large, strong dog was walking toward them. The dog calmly made its way through the crowd, majestic and solemn. The people froze, unsure whether to flee or stay, but the dog showed no aggression. It slowly circled the bed and then sat at the foot, lowering its head in a deep, silent farewell. The breathtaking sight moved everyone to tears. Elijah stared in recognition. The dog bore a scar on its side. He remembered this was the same dog they had rescued 15 years ago when it was trapped by hunters. Back then, Makonde and Elijah had risked their lives to free the dog and nurse it back to health. Since then, the dog had returned to the wild, living freely, but perhaps silently, it had always watched over its savior from afar. Today, sensing the loss, the dog had come to say goodbye. Everyone remained silent, honoring the sacred moment. The dog sat quietly, never once acting aggressively. After the ceremony, the team carefully carried Makonde's body to a grassy field he loved dearly. The dog followed behind, occasionally letting out sorrowful barks, expressing its pain. Under the shade of a large tree, they dug a quiet grave and laid Makonde to rest. Elijah and Musa placed a stone bearing his name at the grave, honoring his half-century of service. Locals gathered to pray, wishing his soul eternal peace. The dog stood by the grave for a long time, head lowered, never taking its eyes off the final resting place of its beloved friend. Then it let out a heartbreaking bark, a cry so deep it echoed across the empty fields. After a while, people quietly left, but the loyal dog remained, a silent guardian. The setting sun painted the Serengeti sky red, as the memory of that moment burned into everyone's hearts. The next day, the reserve suspended all activities in mourning. Many visitors came, offering flowers and prayers at his grave. Sometimes people would spot the dog quietly returning to sit at the grave, lost in thought. To the dog, Mr. Makonde was not just a rescuer, he was family. Elijah and Musa too often visited, promising to carry forward his dream of protecting the wild. The story of Makonde, the legendary ranger, and the loyal dog will forever be part of Serengeti's soul, a testament to love, loyalty, and a bond that defies time. Dear friend, if this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next heartfelt episode. Goodbye.